Now we are going to revise the poem Rain on the Roof. Okay, Rain on the Roof, what it symbolizes here in this poem, the poet wants to deliver the soothing effect, the relaxing effect that a person is enjoying when he puts his head onto the pillow in his small cottage. It means that the soft falling shower, the pitter patter of the rain, it has given a relaxing touch to the poet's mind, and this has also led to, you can say, incoming of thousand old recollections, thousand old memories. They also come into his mind. Vivan, you stand up from there and change your seat. Maintain gap in between. Come in this line. So here in the poem, when the humid shadows fall, humid shadows means that the moisture laden clouds, they cover the sky over all the starry spheres. Over all the starry spheres mean that the entire sky, when it is covered with starry means all the stars as well as the moon, the shiny objects that are present in the sky, and the melancholy darkness. Melancholy darkness is an example of transfer epithet also. And the melancholy darkness and this kind of sadness that fills the entire atmosphere gently weeps in rainy tear. Gently weeps is also an example of personification. Okay, it is wept down, it is wiped away from the face of the earth. Close that door, please. What a bliss! What a bliss to press the pillow of a cottage chamber bed. So the poet is saying that it is totally a blissful moment to press your head against the soft pillow of the bed in the cottage. It means when he listens to the soft falling shower, it is completely a blissful moment, and he listening to the patter of the soft rain overhead. And what he does, he listens to the soft falling shower, okay, soft falling rain that is pouring down onto the roof of his cottage. Here the you can say the pattern, it is an example of onomatopoeia. Yes, Daksh. Which one? Uniform, they are ironical in nature. I'm coming to that poem after that. Now, every tinkle on the shingles, every tinkle means every raindrop that falls onto the roof of the cottage chamber. Just a moment, please. Yes, Bisam.
Ma'am, what is the meaning of onomatopoeia?
Onomatopoeia. Okay, onomatopoeia. What it means? Let me explain. That okay. Yesterday I have given very simple example. Okay, his. If I write down this word, his, what it is related to? His is related to which thing? Which animal or which reptile? Snake. Suppose knock at the door. What does knock reminds you of? Door. Okay, it reminds you of the door. So what it means that some words, they are particularly related to some things or some animals. Okay, this always reminds us of a snake. Similarly, patter is related to rain. Okay, that's why patter, and these are the examples of onomatopoeia. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Next, and it has an echo in the heart, and this produces an echo in the heart of the poet, and a thousand dreamy fancies. Dreamy fancies means old recollections. Okay, this is again an example of transferred epithet into busy being start. Busy being is an example of alliteration. Moreover, it is an example of transferred epithet. Busy means making not the being means making not the poet busy, but making his mind busy. And a thousand recollections weave their air threads into woof. Okay, and this also, you can say, this led to production of number of, you can say, old recollections, number of memories in his mind. And weave their air threads means These various strings of memories, they join together, weave themselves in order to formulate a particular incident. So it means memories they are weaving. Okay. Does memory or can memories weave? No. So this is human-like quality given to non-living thing. So this is an example of personification. As I listen to the patter of the rain upon the roof, and when this happens, he says that when I listen to the pattering of the sound, pattering sound of the rain that is falling onto the rooftop of the cottage. Now, in memory comes my mother, and she used in years ago. Means then in his memory, when he is pressing his head against the pillow, in his memory also comes his mother. Okay, also comes his mother who used to come some years ago. It means that his mother is dead now. She's no longer alive at that moment. To regard the darling dreamers. Darling dreamers is an example of transferred epithet. Okay, to regard the darling dreamers, it is an example of transferred epithet. So darling dreamers means it is related to sibling, his sibling. She used to come to give a caressing look to her young children, or means before she left them all till the dawn, until she used to give her that touching, soothing as well as caressing look to her children, and then she used to go for her daily work. Oh, I feel her fond look on me, and as I list means as I listen. Okay, so this is poetic license. Okay, list for listening. What he has used, list. It means the poet can change the spellings of some of the words. This is called as poetic license. Okay, so as I list to this refrain, so what it means that when poet is saying, at that moment, for that fond look I feel on my face at this moment also, when I listen to the pitter patter of the rain. Okay, and the poet is saying, as I listen to this refrain, which refrain means? Refrain means the main line which is used again and again in the poem, and which you can say encompasses the main idea of the poem. Which refrain he is listening to? When I played upon the shingles of the patter of the rain. When he listens to the soft falling shower and the pitter patter sound that is being produced by the soft falling shower onto the roof of his cottage. So any doubt if you are having? Yes, one child is having the doubt. Let me unmute. Theme means closeness to nature. Okay, it always soothes you. It always provides a relaxing touch to your spirit. Yes, Jasleen.
गुड मॉर्निंग मैम।
Morning, beta.
मैम मैंने पूछना था जो कल वो फर्स्ट वाला क्वेश्चन था ग्रासी एंड वांटेड वेयर, उसमें कौन सी थी?
Personification. Some students have written wanted wear. WW, they have written alliteration. I have given the marks. Actually, it is personification.
ओके मैम, थैंक यू मैम।
Okay, beta.
ओके मैम, थैंक। मैम एक बार पर्सोनिफिकेशन की डेफिनेशन बता दो, मतलब उसका।
Okay, I will explain with that example. Personification means when living qualities. For example, what are the qualities of human beings? Okay, what are the qualities of human beings? They can walk, they can talk, they can feel. Okay, and one poem is there. Suppose a poem is The Frog and the Nightingale. In that poem, the frog is speaking like human beings. Okay, he is singing. So what this quality? It means, can frog sing? No. So it means like human quality is given to an animal. So this is what? This is personification. In poem Wind, what we have read, that the poet is saying to wind not to break the shutters, not to throw the books from the shelf. Just tell me that whether the wind is able to do all these things? No. These are human-like qualities. But poet has given these qualities to what? To that of wind, which is non-living phenomena. This is called personification. Means when living qualities, they are given to non-living things. Yesterday question was wanted wear. The road wanted wear. It was grassy and wanted wear. It means wanted wear means it needs that someone should walk upon it. Do you think that the road will ever think or road would ever feel that someone would walk over me? No. So it means that living quality is given to road. That's why it is personification. Transferred epithet. But students have written alliteration. That was also right. Any other doubt? Jasleen? Leproside is a metaphor because it is compared to that of. Why repetition? Was it used again and again in the poem? No, it was used only once, leproside. It's a metaphor. Okay, I will continue with that. Yes, any other doubt, Jasleen?
मैम आई वांट टू आस्क दैट यस मैम मैंने कहना था जो मेटाफर है उसमें भी तो ऐसे ही होता है लिविंग जो मतलब नॉन लिविंग थिंग को लिविंग थिंग्स की वो
The main thing is there that leproside, in leproside there is a comparison. The main quality of metaphor is comparison. Okay, comparison is made. Leproside means what leproside is. It is compared to that skin of the person who is suffering from leprosy. See, the name indicates leproside. Okay. Okay, but not like and as words are not used. For example, in poem Legend of Northland, what it was black as coal. Okay, thin as vapor. Okay, these here again comparison is there, but here there is use of word as. Okay, if there is use of words like or as, then it is simile. But here in case of leprous hide, the bark of the tree, it is compared to that the skin of a person who is suffering from leprosy. Then what it is? It is metaphor. Here no like or as words are used. That's why it is a metaphor. Otherwise comparison is there in simile, comparison is there in metaphor. Okay, clear?
ओके मैम थैंक यू मैम
Okay, beta. Any other doubt? Yes? What? Enjambment. Okay? Yesterday, so I haven't given any complete line. I have just given just words. So how can the enjambment be there? Now, coming up to the next poem, that is No Men Are Foreign. Here, the poet is delivering us the message of universal brotherhood, that we should falsify the, you can say, the useless, you can say, covering of boundaries. That human beings, they are trying to expand their boundaries. They are trying to, you can say, bind themselves to particular territories. But was this actually right? No. So the poet is telling us to falsify this, you can say, a claim of, you can say, extending the boundaries, and they must follow the policy of universal brotherhood, because actually even nature is not discriminating. So how can we? Okay. So the poem here goes, remember, no men are strange, no country is foreign. Poet is saying that we should not forget this fact that no men are foreign, that we all human beings, we are the inhabitants of this earth only. We should not consider ourselves different from the persons of other countries. They are not strange to us. They are similar to us. No country is foreign. That no countries are foreign. We are actually the part of this earth only. Beneath all uniforms, a single body breathes. So here the ironical role of uniforms is given. What is irony? Means when what the poet is saying, irony means what the poet is saying is different from that what actually it is. Here the poet is saying that uniforms are used to demarcate ourselves from the persons of the other countries. But actually, are uniforms doing this job? No. Under all uniforms, what is there? Single body breathes. There is no difference. Inside, we all are same. We are following the same physiognomy. So, what is written is exactly opposite to what the poet is saying. So, that's why it is irony. It means that uniforms are ironical in nature. This I have explained 101 times now. That uniforms are ironical in nature. What the poet is saying is exactly different from what actually the situation is. This is called as irony. Now, beneath all uniforms, a single body breathes. It means that under all uniforms, we are all together same. We are not different from each other. Like ours. See here. Duck see in this line. You were asking about enjambment. See here. Beneath all uniforms, then comma is there. Then is a single body breathes. Line is not finished here. Like ours is carried on to the next line. But after breathes, there is no punctuation mark. No comma, no full stop. It means this idea is carried forward onto the next line. Then comma is there. This is what? This is enjambment. This is enjambment. Okay? Yes. And the land our brothers walk upon. See again here in this line is earth like us, like this. Again, the same idea is carried on to the next line. That's why it is an example of enjambment. I'm coming here. It is no, that is metaphor. Transferred epithet is also right. No, image, no, it is image, no, it's peaceful harvest. It is actually transferred epithet. Metaphor is also right. Why? I'm coming to that point, what it means. See the meaning now. Now, the land our brothers walk upon is earth like this, in which we all shall lie. So the land, it means that the land on which we are walking upon is similar to that of the land which our brothers are walking upon. There is no difference. Then why we are demarcating ourselves? Why we are separating ourselves into different territories as well as boundaries? They too aware of sun, air and water. They all enjoy the bounties of nature in an equal manner like we are enjoying and are fed by peaceful harvest. And similarly, their life is also filled with peaceful harvest in the absence of war. It means the poet is saying peaceful harvest means metaphor, transferred epithet. Okay? That peaceful harvest means in the absence of war. In the absence of war, what it leads to? It leads to, you can say, peaceful harvesting, making the life happy. This is the comparison made. Okay, peaceful harvest. Why it is a metaphor? Because here it is a comparison, okay, of peaceful life. Moreover, why it is a transferred epithet? It is just because of the reason peaceful is related or an adjective is used with noun harvest. But actually, it is not symbolizing that harvest, it is symbolizing the life of the people. This is the reason. Okay? Yes, Rishit. Your question.
गुड मॉर्निंग मैम।
Morning.
मैम मैंने कहना था एक बार सारे पोएटिक डिवाइसेस की एक्सप्लेनेशन दे दोगे मैम, कईयों में कंफ्यूजन हो जाती है।
Okay, okay. Yesterday I have given you side by side. Tomorrow I will again focus upon poetic devices. Okay?
ओके मैम, थैंक यू मैम।
Okay, beta. Next. So, by long winter star, their hand are us. Winter star means long winter star means that when winter is there, what kind of effect it is there? Like there is absence of greenery. There is, you can say, sadness, gloomy atmosphere. So similarly, in this manner, when the wars are there, there is lot of death and destruction, leading to produce an effect that is quite comparable to that of winter. Okay, that is why it is metaphor. And their hands are ours, and in their lines we read a labor not different from our own. Their hands are ours means their hands are also similar to ours. We follow the same physiognomy, 5 fingers, okay, same palm, same fist, we have the same thing they are having. Then how we are different? Okay, and in their lines read, in their lines means they also get the result or they also work hard in order to make their fortunes. Similarly we are doing. Then how we are different from each other? Next, remember, they have eyes like ours that wake. They have eyes like ours that wake means they also have similar kind of eyes that wake. Therefore, that follow the same, you can say, pattern, waking and sleeping. And or sleep and strength, that can be won by love. And this kind of strength which we have when we have differences, that can only be won with the help of what? That can only be won with the help of love. In every land is common life. In every land means in every country, whether it is India, Pakistan, whatever it is, okay, Russia, everywhere. It means we are earthians. We are part of this earth. We are actually inhabitants of this earth only. There is common life. There is, again, what is there? There is a common life. All the people, they are following the same line of action in their life, and their life is altogether same. Let us remember, when we are told to hate our brothers, it is ourselves. So we should not forget this fact that when our friends, they tell us to hate our brothers, then who is that who is telling us? It is our brothers. Nobody, it is the selfish politicians who are telling this to us. None other than, okay, that we shall dispossess, betray, condemn. That we should not follow these, you can say, negative feelings of betraying, of cheating, of condemning, of negating others. Remember, who take arms against each other, and we should not forget that it is only we who have taken arms against each other. We have stood against each other to fight with each other, but nobody else has told us to do so. It is the human earth that we defile. It is the human earth that we defile means it is only the human earth that we are defiling. Means by our these selfish motives, selfish actions, what we are doing, we are defiling, means destroying the face of the earth because of use of arms, ammunition. Clouds of smoke is produced by blasting. Okay, a lot of pollution is produced. What it is leading to? It is leading to causing damage to the earth. Are hells of fire. Lots of fire is produced. These are just like hells of fire. Again, this is metaphor. It is a comparison without the use of any word like or as. Okay, hells of fire are produced, and dust outrage the innocence. And this kind of dust, it is removing, it is vanishing, it is wiping out the innocence from the human nature. So, of air that is everywhere around. We should not forget this fact that the air that we are inhaling in, it is not, you can say, of different countries, but it is of entire earth, so that we should not cause any damage to the environment also. And remember, no men are foreign and no country is strange. Again, this line is repeated. It is engulfing, it is encompassing the complete idea of the poem. This is again the example of refrain. Okay. Yes, word sometime when it is repeated again. Okay. So any other doubt you people are having in any? No? Then irony? Then it is irony. All these definitions I have given you when I have taught you the points. But you people have forgotten. Don't worry. I will make you write tomorrow. Okay, so that you people will have. And tell me, do you have any problem in now in, you can say, pointed out, chalking out the literary devices? Yesterday the complete class was, it was devoted to this only, so that you will come to know what are the literary devices. Okay, for definitions I will explain. So any other doubt to any student? Any other doubts? No? So next, coming up to the revision of the poem Wind. So what the poem Wind is, in Wind, the poet has entirely personified the wind, and the poet is telling the wind not to break the shutters, not to throw the books from the shelf, and yes, don't scatter the papers. And ultimately the poet wanted to deliver us the message that even nature is harsh to weaklings, poking fun at weaklings. It means even nature is not, you can say, friendly to weak people. So what we should do, we should make our heart steadfast. Okay, what we should do, actually I'm just looking for the poem on page number 30. Okay, so we should make our heart steadfast. It means that we should make ourselves strong enough to withstand these brutalities of nature. these you can say these type of harshness that is being shown by the nature also. If we are strong only, then nature will be on our side also. We will be friends, okay? But if we are not, then nature will also make fun of us. Similarly, in the end of the poem, the poet has said that the forest fire, it flourishes in it flourishes when the wind is weak, sorry, wind is strong, and when it flourishes, forest fire. When the wind is weak, it is flourishing. Strong wind blows out the fire. Okay, so it means that if the person is strong, he can be able to withstand all the difficulties of life. So we should make ourselves strong enough. I know what you are saying. How much time left? I got to know. Yes, winds come softly. Don't break the shutters of the windows. Don't scatter the paper. The poet here personifying the wind is saying, you can say, the poet is saying to the wind not to break the shutters of the windows and not to scatter the papers and not to throw down the books on the shelf. Don't there, look what you did. You threw them all. Again, the poet is, you can say, addressing the wind. What the poet is addressing? Whom the poet is addressing throughout this poem? The poet is addressing to the wind throughout this poem. The poet is saying, look what you have done. You have scattered them all. You have broken them all. And you tore the pages of the books. You bring rain again. Because of your fast blowing strong current of wind, it has brought down rain also. You are clever at poking fun of weaklings. It means that you are very clever, that you make fun of the weak people. Frail crumbling. Frail means weak. Crumbling floors, crumbling houses, crumbling rafters, crumbling coach, crumbling bodies, crumbling life. Crumbling word is used again and again. So that's why it is a repetition. Tanya wants to ask something. Yes, Tanya? Tanya, yes? Not able to unmute. I don't know why. Tanya, I have unmuted you. I don't know what the problem is. So afterwards, I'll take your doubt. So the poet is saying to the wind, before the time is over, I have to complete it. That all these weak things, they are broken down, they are shattered down. And the wind God winnows. Wind God winnows, again personification. Wind is also compared to that of God. It winnows means it separates strong from the weak people and crushes them all. He won't do what you tell them. You never dictate the terms to wind. He never listens to you. He will do whatever he wants to do. So come, let's build strong homes. So in order to withstand these, you can say, brutalities of nature, we need to be strong enough to stand against these strong forces of nature. We should make strong homes. Let's join the doors firmly. We should make strong doors. Let's practice to form the body, even to make ourselves strong enough and make this heart steadfast. And because of wind, when many things are broken, many houses are broken, some lives are also taken away from our life, and this also led to shattering of number of feelings. But this never has led to, but we should never let these to break our heart. We should make our heart strong enough to stand against these, you can say, breakage of feelings too. Do this, and the wind will be friends with you. If you will do this, the wind will also be your friend. The wind blows out weak fires. Weak fires, they are blown out with wind, but strong fires, they flourish. It means that wind is also friendly to strong fire. Okay, so strong fire, the fire will flourish. So it means that nature is always on the side of strong things. His friendship is good. We praise him every day. And we also praise this wind as a god, as a deity. So, yes. Okay. Right. So with this, we have completed the revision of these 3 points. So thank you.